Man, wow. What a crazy, crazy night, man. I'm going to sit here and talk for a moment to make sure you guys and gals or whoever's in here can hear me before I get started. Software, guys, software problems. Give me a second. I'm going to sit here for a moment. If you guys, whoever's in here right now, if you can confirm that you can see me and or hear me, that would be greatly appreciated. Because if you've been sitting here for the last hour like I have trying to get on, you would understand what a world of trouble I've been dealing with. Okay, you guys are saying you're able to hear me and see me. Okay, great. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This is going to be an extremely, extremely, extremely short show, unfortunately, because of my technical difficulties. I will explain that to you guys in just a moment. But let me send this stream to a few people that need it. 1 second. Man, apologize for all the technical difficulties, man. Appreciate y'all hanging in there with me. My goodness. Have mercy. Nope says about time. Yeah, real quick, man. Welcome to the latest episode of Terrible Towel Tuesday. I am your host, SimFBallCritic. I apologize first and foremost for the delay. OBS was acting crazy. It's telling me that the Kodak is not updating or what have you. I think there was an update to OBS, which is the open broadcast software that I use. I'm now using StreamYard, which is a different platform. What is that? Oh, got this box in the way. I see it right there. See that right there? Forgot I had that extra light back there, so I need to move that out of there. Actually, whatever. I ain't got time to do all that. But again, thank you guys for tuning in. But this is going to be super quick. I'm just going to talk to you guys in the chat for about 15 minutes, man. This has been a ridiculously long day for me. I was already behind schedule because I have to deal with my son's AAU practice. On top of that, I spent the last 40 minutes trying to get the stream to start. Frustrated with that. And once I realized, why don't I just come over here to StreamYard, which is software that's right on the URL. Didn't realize that until the last moment because I was frustrated trying to get my other software to work. So anyway, what I'm going to do right now, man, is, again, you can answer the question that I have there in the chat. Well, in the title of the video is, what will the Steelers do? What do you think the Steelers will do at pick 20? I will be on Thursday night for the draft show. Myself, Kenyon. I think some of the ladies want to come on. So even if OBS software doesn't work, I'm actually not even going to attempt that. I'm not even going to deal with the OBS software. We will come right here in StreamYard where I know the stream will work. So there will be no question. So if we shouldn't have any issues on Thursday night, draft night, I'll be on at 8 p.m. Eastern time, back to my regular scheduled time. Thank you in advance to my lovely wife who's going to take my son to his practice and allow me to skip Thursday's practice so we can get started with the draft show starting at 8 o'clock. And I wanted to have Kenyon on tonight as well, man, but because my night started so late, again, I don't have a lot of time. I thought by now I would be off the stream. And since he's going to be on Thursday, we'll have plenty of time to talk and get into what we need to get into about what we think the Steelers are going to do while we wait for the 20th draft pick, pick 20. That is. So hold on, guys. Give me a quick second, man. Let me just check something else. Like I said, it's been a nightmare here tonight, man. Trying to get this stream started. Let me just make sure I got a couple other things in place here. Give me a second. And then I will talk to you guys a little bit. But thank y'all for hanging in there with me, man. Yeah, y'all, you guys are the best. Y'all always bear with me when things aren't going my way, so to speak. Let's see. 1 second, good people. All right, so let's see who we got in here. Let me at least say hello first. Hello to the infamous Tim, Trey, my man Y Diggy. Nobe is in the building. Eric McDuffie, good brother Kenyon, of course. Tyrone Johnson. Hello, the lovely Lanisha. Hello, Miss Lady. Appreciate you tuning in. Still being here with me as I got this late start. Stillberg is in the building. JDA 940 is in the building as well. And did I say Tyrone Johnson? If I didn't, I do apologize. The infamous Tim says, man, I've been refreshing YouTube every 2 minutes for like an hour. Yeah, man. The OBS, again, for those of you guys who are not familiar with streaming, that's a very popular software. It's open broadcast software, but a lot of people that, game or stream or do podcasts, they use that vehicle to stream, right? I think there was an update to it a couple days ago, and I hadn't streamed since the update. So every time I tried to launch the stream, it would play for about 7 seconds, and then it would go into this whole thing of there was an error, encoding the codec, or maybe my drivers. It might be the drivers for my graphics card, but it kept giving me an error. I kept trying to fix it, and here we are. All these minutes later, I finally just thought about, well, why don't I just come here to StreamYard, which is another platform, but it's web-based. This one is obviously working. So like I said, again, for anybody who's coming in here a little bit late, I'm about to get off of this show probably in about 10 minutes because y'all know my Wednesdays are very busy, as well as my Tuesdays. That's when I commute from PA down to Washington, D.C. And I'm sure you guys won't mind because we'll have a action-packed, full action-packed show on Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern. Again, myself will be here. Kenyon will be here. And I believe some of the lovely ladies want to come on. I think Debbie wants to come on. Not sure who else. I think maybe Lanisha, maybe Destiny. But it's going to be a fun affair like it was last year. We will use StreamYard, so we won't have no technical difficulties, God willing, come Thursday. And that will be at 8 p.m. Eastern time as opposed to 9 o'clock. So let's just get into it a little bit, guys. Throw it in the chat. Throw it in the chat. What do you think the Steelers are going to do at 20? I'll give you my quick thoughts. Kenyon will divulge all of his thoughts on Thursday, so you definitely want to come by for that. I don't know, man. I really don't know anymore what – there's so many directions they could go in. I really think we should really be paying attention to offensive tackle and offensive I was going to say offensive center. What other center is it? But I think we should really be paying attention to center and tackle. The interesting thing is, though, is whether or not they feel like they can get a center later. Are they going to make the same mistake that they made in the Creed Humphrey draft? And I say mistake only from a center standpoint. Remember, in that draft, we elected to go Najee Harris, then followed up in the second round with Pat Fryermuth, and then we drafted Kendrick Green. As opposed to perhaps drafting Creed Humphrey instead of Pat Fryermuth. And the reason why I say instead of Pat Fryermuth is because he was available in the second, right? He was available when the Steelers picked in the second. Not saying Pat Fryermuth was a bad pick. I'm just saying that's how you kind of got to look at it when you look back in recent history. Had they drafted Creed Humphrey, we might not be in the situation we're in now with the center position. So that's why I say, do the Steelers attack it early, or do they feel like they can come back and get the center in the second round? If that's the case, I think it's very, very, very plausible that they will draft somebody like Mims in the first round. But they might surprise the Steelers. They might surprise Steeler Nation. They may surprise us, and they may go a totally different direction. They may go wide receiver in the first round if the right kid is there. You never know. Some people saying some of these cornerbacks are falling, like the Dijon kid. I don't know, but I'm really, really stumped. I don't know what they're going to do, man. I cannot wait till Thursday night so we can all talk about it. Let's see what you guys have in the chat, man, and I'll comment a little bit on that. Let's see. JDA says, if Cooper DeJean falls to us, we have to take him. I think we should go with building the trenches otherwise. Yeah, can't disagree with that at all, man. And what up, Floyd? What up, Floyd? I see you in the building, man. Sorry it took so long, Floyd and others, man. Like I told you, technical difficulties. But again, that will not be the case on Thursday because I'm going to go to my alternative platform, which I'm on right now, just to be safe. And then I'll deal with the other stuff, you know, where it doesn't compromise you guys. Yeah, man, listen. When you really think about it, the Steelers don't have a lot of depth at cornerback. You know, say what you want about a Levi Wallace or say what you want about a James Pierre, and I said plenty about both of those guys. Say what you want about Patrick Peterson, and I've said plenty about all three of those guys. They're no longer on the team. Right now, the Pittsburgh Steelers have Joey Porter Jr., which obviously will be the lead dog now. I mean, they have Dante Jackson, who they acquired, but again, I would think, especially with Jackson being more of the veteran, an older guy, I think he's about 28, you know, not too old, but I'm just saying, being an older veteran, I would think that you're going to build what you're trying to do around Joey Porter Jr. So he's your dog. He's your head man. You got the veteran, another veteran to rock with him. Behind that, you got a Darius Rush. We'll see what he is, what he isn't. Showed a little bit of something in a game or two last year when he had an opportunity, but is he more suited for the slot versus outside? I don't know. I know what some of these guys projected to be even coming out of school, but I'm talking about actually playing for the Steelers. I don't know if the Steelers view him as an outside or a slot. He played more inside, even in dime packages. And what I mean by that is he didn't really line up outside, if I remember correctly, last year. I don't think he did. He may have some, but, you know, we were still doing that rotation last year with putting Peterson in the slot and JPJ on the outside, and I think maybe Wallace. I don't recall if Rush played on the outside. He may have, but I'm just saying I don't know enough about him as a Steeler to say great. The Trice kid. Was it Corey? Corey or Kobe? Can't remember his first name. Y'all correct me. But again, yeah, he's a twin tower. That's what everybody was talking about last year. Oh, this guy and him and Joey Porter Jr. almost built the same, and Trice is a little bit taller, but they both have the same physical build. They're both fast, you know, guys, and they're in-your-face type of corners, man-up guys. But what was the problem with Trice? Had some injury history in college, and lo and behold, he gets injured as a Pittsburgh Steeler before he's able to play in a game. So can we depend on that? So I say all that to say cornerback is on the table. If one of those premier guys is available, sitting right there at 20, one thing I think that will never change with the Steeler organization or a lot of teams in this regard, BPA, best player available, is always an option. I think that's always on the table. That's just my personal opinion. So, yeah, let me get back in the chat, guys, because, again, I'm only going to spend another 5 minutes or so here. This is really just a pre-draft show. Again, I'm repeating myself, but let me do it one last time. I see it's about 60 of you guys watching now that didn't hear my spiel from before. Normally, this show starts, well, let me back all the way up. Traditionally, if you're new to Terrible Towel Tuesday, the show begins at 8 p.m. Eastern time. Here lately, and through, I'd say, the midpoint of June, the show is starting at 9 p.m. because I have family obligations. My young son is playing AAU basketball. His practice is from 7 to 8:30. So, of course, I can't start the show at 8. So I'm just giving you guys that heads up. Tried to get the show started tonight, and I ran into all kinds of technical difficulties using OBS software. For whatever reason, it didn't work. For whatever reason, I didn't realize I had an alternative until 40 minutes later, which is what you're seeing me on now, which is called StreamYard. So here come Thursday, I'm doing a draft show. I do this pretty much every year for the whole first round. Well, for the most part, through the Steelers pick. It will be myself, my partner in crime, Kenyon, and some of the Steeler Nation ladies, lovely ladies in the chat, I think will be on for that show. That will start at 8 p.m. because I have some alternate plans as far as my son's practice, the wifey. That will start at 8. So that's why tonight's show is in and out. Where we even at? 15 minutes, yeah. But that's why I'm going so quick. I'm going to give maybe another 5 minutes or so, and then I'll be out of here. But I promise, guys, it will be a fun, action-packed affair come Thursday because we will have a lot to get into. But let me see what some of you guys are saying really quick before I roll out of here, man. Let's see. Kev So Nice says a tackle or a center. Okay. He says, or Brandon or Ayuk. Can I be honest with y'all, man? And I think I said this last week. I love Brandon Ayuk. I really do. I think that dude is phenomenal. I think he's a specimen. I think his physical skills and what he's displayed on the field, I mean, he would fit in as a Steeler, in my opinion. Young, you're still catching him at that young prime age where he's looking for a contract. You got to keep that in mind. And my opinion is, I'm in this particular draft, I don't know if I'm trading big time capital away for Brandon Ayuk because he is going to want a contract. Remember, he's beefing currently with the 49ers over not getting a contract. He has been one of the top receivers as far as production and reliability in the NFL the last year or two. He's been beyond reliable in terms of making big plays and taking pressure off of Deebo Samuel. One could argue he's been the main component because Deebo Samuel has been injured here and there. Do you want the Steelers to pay that receiver what they're going to have to pay him based off of market value when we're entering into a draft that is fully loaded with wide receivers? I say no. If you can get Brandon Ayuk for something that's team friendly in terms of maybe a early pick next year, okay, I guess. Well, let's not forget that our Steelers have a lot to fill in, a lot of holes to fill. We can't be giving away draft capital this year. That's just my opinion. And sometimes, again, you can't always go with the name and the player. You have to look at it as a whole. If I'm the businessman or I'm sitting in the GM seat, excuse me, I'm looking at what I have in the draft. I'm looking at what it's going to cost me, both monetarily and draft capital to get Ayuk. I'm not doing it. Would I love for him to be a Steeler? Absolutely, but not at that cost. I'm just not willing to do it at what it's going to cost. But that's just my 2 cents on that. What else y'all got? What else y'all got? Why Diggy says depends on who falls. Yep. Hello, Mr. Winningham, man. Appreciate you coming through. Sorry for all the technical difficulties early, but like I said, man, I shall not let you guys down come Thursday night. We will be live and kicking 8 p.m. Eastern time. Charlie Brown says, my heart says offensive line, but my mind is telling me wide receiver. Very possible. Very possible. Yep, Trice. You guys, it's Corey. Okay. For some reason, I wanted to call him Kobe. Corey Trice. Thank y'all for correcting the name there. What happened, Kev? So nice. You said, Sim, I feel bad for you. In regards to what? Infamous Tim says, I truly think we'll get JPJ at 20, even if it's considered a reach, just to ensure we have a strong center. Since there's a large gap in talent between centers, unlike how talented the tackles are. Okay. He's talking about Powers. What is it? Jackson, Powers, Johnson. Am I saying that right? Or is it Johnson, Powers, Jackson? I can't remember the order of his name, but y'all know who he's talking about, the center from Oregon. And I wouldn't be mad at. Listen, I wouldn't be mad at all if they drafted one of those guys. Frazier. I don't know if Frazier is more of a first round guy. And then some people are throwing around Graham Barton. Where this guy is more of a play tackle, I believe, but they said he has center flexibility because I guess he played it his freshman year. He's an athletic guy, but I don't know. Ollie Howard says, Sim, you can't be late for your own show. We're here whatever time the notification comes. Yeah, I know, man. Listen, it wasn't my fault, man. But I will take that ownership. I'm not a pass the buck type of guy, right? Since software had an update, maybe I should have did a test stream to see if it worked. And maybe I'll do that tomorrow, perhaps, in case I want to use it Thursday, but I don't think so. I think I'm going to be safe on Thursday, and I'm going to use this software I'm on right now. What else y'all got? Kev So Nice says the Philly game. Yeah, man. I don't even want to talk about it, man. But you know what? I'm a realist with my sports teams the same way I am, with the Steelers. I'm the same way in the NBA. And I'll just leave it at that. I know my Sixers do not have a chance to win a title this year before they went down 0-2. They didn't. That's just my opinion. I'm telling y'all, I've become a realist when it comes to my sports teams. They were not a championship contender. Do I like the way Maxey and Embiid, that 1-2 punch? Absolutely, but it's not enough when you consider those teams in the West, when you consider the Celtics. And that's it. I'm not talking no more basketball. Y'all always pull me into basketball on the Steelers show. I don't understand why y'all do that. And I'm not talking about Kev So Nice, but I'm talking about somebody that I know is talking basketball. And that would be, I'm sure Antoine is in here talking about the Sixers. I ain't even see it, but I can guarantee you. Oh, man, we got a donation. Stillberg, I appreciate that. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate that. He says, keep seeing articles regarding how Arthur Smith offense doesn't really utilize wide receivers too much. Wouldn't it be beneficial for the Steelers to have another receiving threat opposite George Pickens to open up the offense? Yes. But remember what I said a few weeks ago. The Steelers might not necessarily be looking for the Deontay Johnson replacement. If you understand what I'm saying. They might not necessarily be looking for that. They may be looking at a different type of wide receiver because when Arthur Smith was the most successful offensively, it was with the Titans. Go back to the 2019, 2020 seasons and look at who they had a receiver. The type of receivers, tight ends, Derrick Henry. So the question is Arthur Smith's plans to mimic that? Or would it be more dynamic? You fast forward to what he did with the Falcons. I mean, he still didn't really have more than one receiver that you thought was the guy. And unless I'm tripping, the only guy, I could think of is London, who would, be the main horse. But who else were the receivers for the Falcons? Y'all help me out. There was nobody else that stood out like, oh, they got a 1-2 punch or a 1-2-3. They had a tight end and Kyle Pitts. So that would be my question ultimately, is Arthur Smith trying to replicate what he did when he was successful, or will he be looking to do something else? And that's the question that we can't answer. We don't know what he's actually planning to deploy in the Steelers, as the Steelers offense with a Russell Wilson, with a Justin Fields. See, that variable too can't go lost on us. I know we haven't talked about that in over a month, but let's not forget there's a Justin Fields in the locker room that can do a lot of things with the ball in his hand. So we'll see. Yeah, just like Kenya just said, Arthur Smith used A.J. Brown, but think about it. Who else? Who was the other receivers along with A.J. Brown? And that's the question you got to ask yourself. Are the Steelers going to go 2 and 3 deep at receiver, or are they going to have one guy that's their horse, a couple complimentary guys like kind of what Tennessee had? Because who was there? Was it Davis? Was it A.J. Brown and what's my man's name? Was it I think it was one of the Davis kids, not Gabe, the other guy. Was it Corey Davis or something like that? I think he was the other kind of big body receiver, but they didn't have any real superstars that I remember. Oh, yeah, Charlie Brown, you're right. Corey Davis, I was right. Okay. They did have Ridley, but yeah, Ridley got suspended, so we didn't really get to see that Cook, but that's a good point. That is a good point. So, I guess you could say a 1-2 would have been London and Ridley. So, yeah, it was Davis. Okay, appreciate y'all. See, my memory is kind of okay when it comes to football. But yeah, man, I'm gonna go ahead and get ready to shut this thing down. I literally let's do like 3 more minutes. Give me your last final testimonies, man. And again, you can come back on Thursday, but give me your last quick shot of who you think. Who do you think? Who do you think the Steelers are gonna go for, whether name or position at 20? Jeremy Johnson is saying B Hop. No, B Hop. B Hop. Who you talking about? No, I don't think we talking about the same person. Good question, Kenyon. Is George Pickens the number 1, man? Am I comfortable with the safeties in case Minka go down? That's a good question. Not necessarily, but honestly, ain't a whole lot of comfort I can have in anyone that's going to be able to replace what Minka does. Just think about the Steelers of yesteryear. If Troy Polamalu goes down, what happens? I think we all saw what happened, even when Ryan Clark went down. Remember that Denver game? Remember Tim Tebow? Ryan Monday? Now, Ryan Clark may not have been the best safety in the league, but I have a feeling that Ryan Clark would have played that better and would have gotten Demaryius Thomas to the ground. Rest in peace, DT. So sometimes when you take a safety off the field, like take Ed Reed off the field for the the Ravens. You know what I mean? When you take that key component, I mean, it's hard to replace certain talents. It's hard to replace Minka. So to ask if I'm comfortable is kind of okay, he meant D-Hop. That's right, why Diggy. But I don't think D-Hop wasn't with them in 19 and 20, right? Or am I tripping? He wasn't with the Titans then, was he? I don't think so. But yeah. Rajan says Barton. Okay. Mark Cunningham says, what's up, Mark? He says, I hope Fuaga falls to us or we go get him. Okay. Wadigi says either Barton or Fatano. Okay. What else? Yeah, D-Hop won't dare, man. He was definitely not there then. See, Antoine Hill says Minka get hurt because he's not playing his natural position. They do put him in the box a little too much, don't they? I'm just hyped. I'm sure we will do what's best. We'll see. He asked me Steelberg is saying, did y'all see the article about the Steelers trading with Denver to get that cornerback from Toledo? I hadn't seen that. But hey, man, listen, I'm all for whatever they do that is the best case scenario, because we can't forget, and I've heard a couple people reiterate this as well, but Omar Khan keeps saying that they have some plans in-house that could potentially be center. So is that Nate Herbig? Do they have that much confidence in Nate Herbig? And if they do, then I mean it's open. It's open for discussion at 20. If it ain't tackle, it could be corner. You know what I'm saying? Like it could be wide receiver. So I'm definitely excited about it. Again, one last time before I get out of here, man, I apologize to you guys for all of the technical difficulties tonight. That shall not be the issue on Thursday. Thursday, we get started at 8 p.m. Eastern time. We will have a live stream, live discussion through the 20th pick. We'll make our comments and give our thoughts on the 20th pick. And then that show will be over. And then following that, Friday night, I will be coming and doing quick videos to talk about each draft pick that we get on day 2. And then obviously day 3, it'll be more so recorded videos where I'm kind of giving my thoughts on position and or player if I'm familiar with them. But lots of content to come in that regard. So again, thanks for hanging in there with me tonight, man. Appreciate everything you guys do for me. I know you guys say I do a lot for y'all, but really it's what y'all do for me. Y'all give me the energy and strength to sit here at 10-12 p.m. Eastern time, knowing I have to get up at 5 a.m. tomorrow morning and drive to Washington, D.C. for work, which I do twice a week. Today was one of them, and Wednesday is the next. So Tuesday and Wednesdays are always rough for me, but y'all give me the strength to keep going. But outside of that, before y'all go, man, if you're new to the channel, hey, don't just come by. Stay a while. Take your shoes off. Come on in. Hit that subscribe button. If you watch this video and you like what you saw here tonight, make sure you like the video. Outside of that, once you are subscribed, make sure you turn on those notifications, because how else will you know that my stream wasn't working earlier tonight? But yeah, how else would you know the stream is running and recorded video has been uploaded? Outside of that, man, y'all stay safe, stay blessed. Good night. Thanks for tuning in. Like always, thanks for coming by the Terrible Towel Tuesday. And in this case, I will see you guys on Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern time. Let's get excited and see what the Steelers are going to do. Catch y'all in the next one. Peace.